Hello, so this is a quick video to run through my process to upload my code to GitHub. So the first thing I'm going to do is within my GitHub area, I'm going to create a new repo. I'm going to call that Unit Capture Simple Framework. It's going to be public, and that's it. It can be private, but this one's going to be public. Create repo. Now this page says to me that there's nothing in this repo. So this is like a standard screen that you'll see for a brand new empty repo. And you've got two options here. Generally speaking, this is the one I normally use. This tends to work for me. So what I would do is go into my code. This is the code that I want to send up to GitHub. Now that currently lives locally. Here. So this is the local folder that has these files here, and these are the same files here. Now I'm using Visual Studio Code, which is awesome for many reasons. I'm just going to save everything first. One of the reasons is that you have an integrated terminal. Now I know that some people think you don't need to know this, or you can use UI. I think UI is great, but I personally think knowing how to navigate around the command line process is useful, especially when the UI option doesn't quite work. So the first thing I'm going to do here is just initiate git by simply typing git init. Now you can see straight away everything's gone green, which means that these are untracked changes. Basically, these are things that we want to do something with. You can also see this 11 here. You've got 11 files that we want to do something with. And it also says initialized empty Git repository locally. So in this folder, there should be, if I can figure out how to view hidden folders, one sec. Right, so here it is. You can now see there is a hidden Git folder. So I created this by typing in git init. And in here are a bunch of things which I'm not going to mess with. But that's what's happened there. So the next thing to do is to go back to your empty remote repo. You copy this line here. Paste it in here. Now all that's done is link my local with the remote. Next, you click this button here and you type in a message. Every commit you need to type in a message. So this one's just going to be initial commit, and then you press the tick. Okay, then copy this line, git push upstream origin master. Done. Now if I go back, there are no changes to upload, everything's white. If I go back to my repo and I refresh, I now have all of the files that were locally stored now stored remotely as well. So this is a snapshot of what I've done here. Let's say I wanted to change something. So I've added a comment. Once I save, I now have a new file. So for subsequent pushes, I believe you just have to click that, add a comment, click tick, and then just simply type git push. Now, if I go back and I refresh, last commit 19 seconds ago. Here I added a comment, and you can see in this file, this is the change that I made. So this is a very quick run through of how you can take code that you're using locally and you can push it to your remote repo. Now once I've done this, this is now, because it's public, this is free for people to fork or to clone, and essentially they're the same thing, but I think if you fork something, you generally take the concept and you make it your own. But if you clone something, you just take a copy, more for collaborative purposes, and you work on it. And then once you've finished making a suggested change, if let's say you wanted to refactor my code, you would do that locally. You would then send me a push request, and if I accepted that, then I could pull in the changes that you've made, but we'll cover that separately. So there you go, that's a really quick run through of how to push your code up to GitHub.